You guys know how much I love psychological thrillers or any form of thrillers at all. I was super excited to get into this book. It's called An Anonymous Girl by Greer Hendricks and Pekkanen. So today I'll be sharing my thoughts and doing a mini book review on this book. So let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Rachel here. As always, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a thing. You can also like this video so that it is referred to other viewers as well. As I said earlier, I'm going to be doing a mini sort of book review on this book. It's called An Anonymous Girl by Greer Hendricks and Pekkanen. It was published in 2019 and I think I've gotten this book since like last year, but it's just been sitting on my shelf. I finally decided to give it a read and see what the buzz is about. Before I start, I'm going to read a little bit about the authors. Greer Hendricks spent over 2 decades as an editor. Prior to her tenure in book publishing, she worked at Allure magazine and earned her master's in journalism from Columbia University. Her writing has been published in the New York Times and Publishers Weekly. Greer lives in Manhattan with her husband, 2 children, and a very needy dog, Rocky. Pekkanen is the internationally and USA Today best-selling author of several novels, including Skipping a Beat, a former investigative journalist and a feature writer. Her work has been published in the Washington Post, USA Today, and many others. She's the mother of 3 sons and lives just outside Washington, D.C. I've always been so intrigued by how the 2 of them put together these books, because I have this one, and as at the time I'm shooting this video, my next read is You Are Not Alone, which was published in 2020. So I'm definitely looking out for that one as well. Let me read the synopsis of the book so that you guys can get an idea of what this book is about. Seeking aged 18 to 32 to participate in a study on ethics and morality, generous compensation, anonymity guaranteed. When Jessica Faris signs up for a psychology study conducted by mysterious Dr. Shields, she thinks all she'll have to do is answer a few questions, collect her money, and leave. But as the questions grow more and more intense and invasive, and the sessions become outings where Jess is told what to wear and how to act, she begins to feel as though Dr. Shields may know what she's thinking and what she's hiding. As Jess's paranoia grows, it becomes clear that she can no longer trust what is real in her life and what is one of Dr. Shields' manipulative experiments. Caught in a web of deceit and jealousy, Jess quickly learns that some obsessions can be deadly. So, as you can see from the synopsis, the plot is basically centered around a young girl who is like a makeup artist. She basically just lives a fairly normal life, and she signs up for this sort of psychology study, which she doesn't really do intentionally. Well, I don't even know whether to say she does it intentionally. She goes through the let me call it backyard to go and sign up for it, and sort of finds herself in the study because she obviously needs extra cash, and the participants to the study are being paid a lot of money, so she needs extra cash. She finds herself in there. She gets endeared to the so-called Dr. Shields, who now, you know, likes her and everything like that. But then at the end of the day, the study turns into something deeper, and a whole web of events happen where somebody loses their life. I'm not going to say who because it's a spoiler-free review, so if you want to, you can go and read the book. But then it's just so crazy how from just a little psychological study and experiment, which is like on morality and ethics and things like that, and then at the end of the day it turns into something so warped. So that's basically what the book is about. The 2 main characters in this book are Dr. Shields and Jess, and the book is written from a first point narrative of both Dr. Shields and Jess. So from Jess's point of view, you get to know who she is, how she thinks, basically her naive way of thinking through life, especially as it relates to this particular study and dealing with certain strangers. And also you get to see Dr. Shields' point of view and how stoic and whatever it is Dr. Shields is. And it's very interesting the way the writers were able to write these 2 really distinct characters, but yet they were able to have this cohesive sort of unison about the book to bring it together for an amazing climax at the end. So I actually liked the plot of the book. I think that it flowed easily. I thought that it was normal paced. It wasn't the most fast paced thing. I also love the fact that the beginning of the climax and the beginning of the events that will lead up to the climax were not delayed to like the last 50 pages of the book, and then you're reading a book for like 300 and something pages and then you're there waiting. I like the fact that the build up was not too much. However, I found that when I got to the somewhat climax, and then there was like the ending after the climax, and I was like, okay. So for me, I mean, while the plot was lovely and I understood everything that was going on and it caught my attention, I was kind of a little bit disappointed with the end. I didn't really understand. I mean, I just felt like it was like, okay, so is that it? I mean, it was a suitable ending. It was okay. It wasn't bad. But I just was not satisfied personally. I just felt like there could have been more. I don't really know what I was looking for. I don't really know what I felt like could have been more, but I just felt like there could have been more for something so twisted and intricate and so intentional in the way the plot was set out. I just felt like there could have been more. Down to the characterization of the book, I really, really love the development of Jesse's character. I love the development of Dr. Shields' character. I felt like it was intentional. The writing around their characters, even the way Dr. Shields sort of has this presentation of who Dr. Shields is, you know, it's very, very intentional. The character almost has this stoic, like, person that doesn't even have any emotions or whatever. Most of the time when you meet therapists, you know, because they are not allowed to show their emotion maybe during a session or something like that, so you almost don't really know who is behind who you're talking to. But then it's just so interesting how the book flows along and you get to understand why Dr. Shields does some of things that Dr. Shields does and why Dr. Shields thinks the way Dr. Shields does. So it was a very interesting way that the book was written. I loved how their characters were both developed and I could literally see life through their eyes. It was a little bit, you know, intense, honestly, and I really enjoyed the pace, but like I said, yeah, that ending made me feel like it's just, it was just painful, because you know when a book is really everything and then at the end of the day you're like, hey, it could have been more, but whatever. The writing style for me was really easy to understand. Oh my goodness, it just reminded me of why I just love to read thrillers, because you can't really have like a super complex writing style when you're trying to build anticipation and break people's hearts and have their hearts beating so much. So the writing style was really easy to understand and I flowed and ebbed with it all through the book. Like I said, it was written in the first person narrative from Dr. Shields' point of view and from Jesse's point of view. I know that throughout the book I had some moments where I was gasping at some little plot twists and some little build up and anticipation. The book explored themes, like I said, morality, ethics, psychology, you know, and just how far somebody is willing to go. You know, sometimes people that you least expect have the most twisted minds just in trying to do things for either a loved one or in trying to protect someone or in being obsessive or possessive or whatever it is. So it really explored some darker themes and some also lighter themes like morality and ethics. What will my verdict be on this book? I'll give it a nice 7.5 over 10. It could have been 8 point something over 10, but like I said, I wasn't all too satisfied with the ending of the book. I felt like there could have been more. I liked it for what it's, the thrill and the anticipation that it gave me, but for that particular part of the book I didn't really appreciate it. So that's basically my thoughts on this book. It's a lovely read if you're a fan of psychological thriller or any form of thriller at all. This book is one that you can pick up and I'm sure that you would enjoy it. You may actually find the end very like, oh my goodness, like what? I was somewhat surprised, but really not too surprised by the ending. Like I said, it was okay, but I just wanted more. So those are my thoughts on this lovely book by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. You can pick it up if you're a fan of thriller. Thank you guys so much for watching this mini book review and for listening to me share my thoughts on this book. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like this video, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.